this exciting video where you once again join us in the beautiful landscape of Scotland. Once again we're joined by Highlander 87 for this adventure, and for today's video we've come to document an incredible ancient piece of history. And it's actually an ancient, potentially like 2,800 years old Souterrain. And it's one of the best Souterrains. I've only been here one time before, and I think it was like 3 years ago or whatever. So it's cool to come back here with a fresh perspective and a better knowledge of Souterrains and document this place once again. This is actually one of the Airlie Scotland, and it's the best example of a Souterrain in our area in Scotland. And it's actually got an ancient carving of a snake and stuff like that within it. Highlander's brought a torch, haven't you? We've got a torch with us, folks, and we're basically heading in. It's an Iron Age underground world, folks, and it's hidden underneath the landscape of Scotland, and we just love adventures like this. I think last time we walked in it was like all overgrown and the grass was kind of, it was like summertime conditions almost. So it's cool to come back here with a different time of year, see how the landscape changes in Scotland so much at these different times of year. And we should be able to actually access the Souterrain entrance easier today. So the ancient historical wonder is in this field up ahead of us, and it's actually at the summit of this hill up ahead. We need to try and climb back out of this plantation, I think. The cool thing about these historical wonders is that the true history about them is not actually known. It's all just theories constructed from people studying the sites. But the real origin of these sites is completely unknown. And that's the kind of ancient mystery that we love to explore on the channel. Uncover our own layers of history. Shout out to the farmer over at this side who's got the muck spreader out. We'll obviously come with the greatest respects, like the landowner and the farmer here. We're just literally wanting to document this history, then we're on our way. So we've got this little stretch of land here. It's between the field fence line and then the original dike line. And all we need to do is make it to the top of this ridge. Wow, what a scene. It's an electric fence down this side as well, so we're being super careful, because we'll get electrocuted if we touch it. So this particular Souterrain's built on a prominent piece of land here, but we have seen other Souterrains that's built on lower lands. And just check this out, folks. Wow, it's the time of year though the grass and stuff's died down. This here, folks, is an ancient 2,800 year or so, maybe even older, underground tunnel system, folks. And let's head down in. Wow, it looks like people have been down here recently exploring. Or whoa, let's head in. Look at the way this greenery and stuff is all over the place. I'm putting on my torch. Highlander's got a torch with him. I'll just wait till you come on in. Wow, what a scene, folks. Just think, right here, this tunnel system goes away around the corner. What an absolute madness this is, folks. Look at that. Just think, all these stones were built and constructed in here so long ago. History almost gone and forgotten from the land. An ancient 2,500-year-old Souterrain. Look at that entrance behind us. Wow, the way the greenery and the nature takes over where the sunlight shines in. The moss and the ferns grow on the soil. And also on the floor here you can see so much soil has washed in through the structure over the years. You want to go ahead with the torch and I'll follow along. Wow, these were in quite a few places in Scotland, folks, but this one is the best kept because we can actually see the construction here, the way they've built it, the way it narrows at the top, the big flat stones on the top. Wow, what a scene, folks. I'm sure the snake is up here above our heads somewhere. There's a snake carved here, folks, an original ancient carving. Here it is, Highlander's got it with a torch. Look at this here, original snake carving. Think how old that is. See, another interesting theory with this stone, folks. This could have been an even older carved stone that was then reused and repurposed for this roof. And that is a theory that I've no heard getting thrown around. But it is interesting to think of all or somebody could have been in here carving stone, but wow, I just love it. And you can see the way they've actually drawn the snake, it's completely different to the way that the Picts drew the snake, and that shows it's from a completely different time period. Wow, let's head on down here, look through the gate. There's a gate here because that's actually been put in because the top of it's fragile and it could fall down on your head. And you know what it's like nowadays, folks, for safety. Wow, that's why there's a padlocked gate. See, last time you could actually get in there, but it's been snibbed since then. I'll put the camera right in. But obviously that's the end of it there. See the other Souterrains we've been to? They've actually had other little passages and tunnels going off to the side. Yeah. So it's interesting how this one doesn't seem to have that. Wow. Some of the theories on these, folks, is actually that there was a house constructed on the top and this was actually underneath to store their grain and any other things that they needed for survival under the house. Or maybe in the centre, one of the houses in the village, they would have had this for their annual supply and storage of items. But also, if you think about it, they could have had like a whole flock of sheep or anything in a place like this, safe from the wolves and things that actually dominated the landscape back then. Hunting. A lot of these Scottish creatures were all out and about hunting, and that's basically the savageness of the land back at that time. Check it out, folks, I've got Highlander's torch here now, and we actually found this torch on an adventure when we were in a crazy piece of landscape, so it's mad it's getting used now for adventuring. It's like the adventures supplied what we needed here. And well, look at this, folks, it is just incredible. As I'm walking back around to that entrance, the scenes of the moss and stuff growing, it probably looks incredible even without the torch actually shining there, eh, look. That's so incredible. It truly is just a mad underground world that's forgotten about. Oh look, here's potentially one of these side tunnels. See, I reckon that's what this has been. See if you dig through there, I bet you there's another chamber similar to this, because we've seen that at other Souterrains. A lot of them's no as perfect on the top as this, but the other Souterrains have got separate other carves like this built around, and there's many layers to these. So if you were like coming in and you just, I don't know if it was like a defensive thing or what, it's just mad to think of that mystery of the history. Look at the way these ferns and stuff's up here. Wow, it is crazy to have the torch on then show how it is without the torch. Stuff like that growing in here every day. Think how many days and nights has passed within like 2,800 years, and this place has been here under the ground. It's a complete forgotten civilization down here. Yeah. And the way of life was so different back when the thing like this got built. It's crazy. And it's so curious to see like what is in there. It's all mud and stuff. Other areas may be fully collapsed now. Other chambers within this structure. There's no other sign of a thing like that though, eh? No. At all. Check it out. See down here, folks, you can actually see your breath. It's so cold in this winter environment in Scotland. That just looks eerie, like a secret tunnel. If you didn't know it was like an old Souterrain or whatever from such ancient times, you would think it's some crazy escape tunnel, maybe from a castle or whatever. And this carved stone is so special to see and to document. I reckon it would be like a snake carving, because you can see it's got a round, pretty big round end there for a head. And then the carve of its body. And you do get adders and snakes in Scotland, so that's something that they would have genuinely maybe had at that time kicking about. You may have come in here to get shelter or whatever they were using it for, and then next minute there's an adder in here hibernating for the winter. And maybe back then as well there was even more adders than what there is nowadays. So that's an interesting theory as well. The snake was obviously a thing they tried to draw, but see the interesting thing? It's got the big head there and the coil, but then there's other similar shapes here that's completely straight. Wow. It's almost like an oscilloscope or a graph.
There's like
The shapes.
It could be a repurposed stone, eh?
Yeah, imagine what this may have been before. An old sign. Maybe this is some writing that people would have understood originally, and there would have been like Airlie 15 miles.
Like, this could have been a standing stone.
Yeah, so much history's gone past. People would be thinking, oh, that'll be a Pictish stone, but the Picts is from a completely different time in history and a more modern time. If you think the Picts is ancient, buildings like this and places like this are so much more ancient. It's just mind-blowing history, and for this one to be in such incredibly great condition, that's why I wanted to come back today, throw the camera on and have a walk about and see what we've seen. It's not just the internal like shape of it and stuff, it's just the whole way the entrance comes in under the dike line. It's just that story of history that's almost forgotten, almost gone from the land. I'll head back up, I'll give Highlander his torch. I'm wanting to head back up here without the torch to give the viewers an idea of the light conditions here coming around to the entrance. You have to also think the original entrance may not have been exactly at this spot. I'm curious to have another wee look on the surface here as well, whereas last time I didn't really know the true history of Souterrains. Well, nobody does know the true history. Oh, see here! This is interesting, look. It's like there's maybe been another one of these tunnels there. So that makes you think, Ken, was this the furthest in end originally? Because sometimes these places were accidentally uncovered when one of the roof stones or whatever just dislodged and fell in. So the original entranceway may have been somewhere else. I believe there could be other chambers below us here that those bits would have led to. See, when you see that, it's so special. It's a true underground piece of Scottish history, and it is almost gone and forgotten. It's so cool I can come and document things like this and share it with people all over the world. It shows the thousands of years that Scotland's been populated with things like this. Things have been going on at this point in the land for so long. It's just incredible. And the way that everything grows around it, it makes it more special. Yeah, just think under here, they've obviously put a fence line round, but that goes in so far. I think maybe there could be more though that these side tunnels link up with. Wow man, look at this scene all around. So cool. We have been to another Souterrain a few miles that direction, but it's fully uncovered and hardly visible. But it is interesting over the years to document these and just to see what is left from this time in the land. Souterrain history, folks. And wow, I just love it. I'm going back down in just to this entranceway to have one last look. That's what I love on this channel as well, folks. It's all like spontaneous. Every week we're just going to different places, different history from time periods that's like all over the place. World War II, quarry history. In a place like this, folks, it is just like being in some mad movie set. It's almost like coming to planet Earth in like 10,000 years. I can see a beast fleeing in the door there at me. Look at the different variation of this moss here. The landscape here, it is like being in a Lord of the Rings set or like Braveheart scenes. Just think who may have hidden in here or used this place over the years. So many thousands of years, like not even just hundreds. Think how many generations have been on this planet since this was even built. Imagine what the people may have been wearing down when they were building this thing even. Like, you have to consider everything. Like, what did the world look like outside? Today we see all these fields. You have to think originally it could have been trees and forests, and this being on the prominent piece of land. It could have been on a clearing, and you would have been looking out over the top of all the forests. That's the kind of history that I love to see and document, and also just think about when we're here, because it's almost the side of the history that you forget when you look at it. It may have also been a place that people would have hid at a time of battle or unrest on the land, but this would be from ancient times. Like, some of the plain standing stones are ancient as well, and it is crazy, like all that was built from a time that wasn't recorded in great detail, or if it was recorded, the history's been deleted from human knowledge. It was like a different civilization which spent their time under the ground. And it's been cool to come today. We love a Souterrain basically. See something that's like that and you just imagine originally how it was and stuff. It is like time travelling almost when you go to different locations, and then you can just imagine how it was at each place, and over the years how humanity's changed, how technology's moved on from what was available to these folks here. Like, what did they use to dig down this hole? Because they wouldn't have been able to nip to B&Q for like a fold up trowel or a spade. And then this landscape around, this is where I was imagining the trees. The Souterrain may even continue under here, because if this wasn't the original entrance, the stones may have come around this area. I'm going to walk just over to this side for a quick look. We'll survey the whole area here, folks, and get the true aspect of the historical picture. Yeah, I've never looked down this side. The path continues right down as well.
That's the way you come in from the farm.
Oh, aye. See, I've seen other people walking along that way from the farm. There is a few ways you can get to this place, folks, but we've come kind of over that direction from the far side. Airlie village is probably over there, like a mile and a half or a couple of mile. Kirrymuir's up that way, probably like 3 or 4 mile. And then Ailith and stuff's along that way. And this is the Strathmore Valley leading right along this area. I've actually got a couple of future adventures planned on a hill across at that side. Coming up one of these days, probably in the future, like next month I would say, we'll probably have that recorded. It's mad when we're out on adventures, because if we look around we can see places we've been before and things we've documented, and it's mad there's so much history in every little corner. And then today, to see this and to document it, such a fun wee thing on the channel. And wow, I was just thinking today, they probably had a different language and stuff back then. Yeah. The language the people spoke here.
Yeah, like a big fish.
Imagine you time travelled and turned up here to see what the crack was. You wouldn't even be able to communicate with the people that popped out the hole. Yeah, that scene there, that makes it. It's literally an entrance into an underground labyrinth. A labyrinth, folks, is the best way to describe it. And wow, what an adventure. We've seen it. Now we've got to head on back out of here. Looks like the farmer isn't over by his tractor. And that's a good thing, because we could have been hit from stones flying out of the dung if he was spreading the dung. Anyway, let's keep this adventure moving. I didn't mention it earlier in the video, but it's proper freezing cold today. It's about 3 degrees Celsius. So we're just keeping a fast pace. Shout out to the farmer and the landowner for not blocking that up and not making it inaccessible. Because we really appreciate being able to come and look at history like that and document it for the world to see before it is gone forever, or if part of it collapses. It's cool to see how it looks at a certain time. And every year, structures like that do change. It is windy today, folks, but I think the windsock will be sorting that out. We need to kind of navigate around this electric fence here to go up the hill. Check out here, folks, there's these crossing points on the fence, and I think it's for shooters or gamekeepers on the land here. We could literally just head up this side potentially. We'll go over. That's what our adventures are all about, folks. We just go left and right, going random routes to crazy abandoned places. And it is interesting just to see the amount of things we see along the way. Sometimes when we're away to document a thing like that, you notice another item on the way there, and it's cool for future videos to come back. Keep finding more history in the land that I've never documented before. Right, folks, that's us back down to the road's edge where I've parked the wee car here. So I'm going to end it here. It's been amazing to see what we've seen today. An old Souterrain hidden within the lands of Scotland, underneath it, buried and hidden for thousands of years. And that is just so cool. And the landscape to walk there was cool as well. We saw another wee bit of the land going through this forest and over the fields. If anybody does come here, you have to be respectful of like the farmer, the landowner and his livestock as well. In this direction we've come in, it's kind of from the Kirrymuir Ailith back road, or it's not even to Ailith now, because the bridge is closed up the road, There's a lot of bridges in Angus and that's probably like never been fixed for about 3 or 4 years. The roads closed that used to be main roads and stuff, so. But yeah, we're ending it here, folks. We're back to the car. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye from me, goodbye from Highlander 87, and we'll see you very soon for the next adventure, wherever we end up going.